become unbreakable.
Throughout human history, philosophy has offered us frameworks to navigate life's challenges. Among these, Stoicism stands as a beacon of resilience, offering timeless wisdom about facing adversity with quiet strength. Today, we explore how the ancient practice of Stoicism can transform our modern lives, showing us that it's never too late to make profound, positive changes.
Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss our philosophy series. Comment your favorite Stoic teaching from the video in the comments. I'd love to hear what resonated most with you. Your support helps us bring more ancient wisdom to modern challenges. The courage to face fear.
At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies a powerful question. What would you do if you weren't afraid?
When we're confronted with significant life decisions, this question reveals our true desires. Often the path we're most afraid to take is precisely the one we should follow. The essence of Stoic courage isn't the absence of fear, but the wisdom to act despite it.
Life can change in an instant, for better or worse. The difference is merely in how immediately we see the results.
You can change your life today, in this very moment, by making a single decision. Your life's trajectory will shift. You will have changed direction. The tree of your life will grow differently. It simply takes time for this new direction to bear fruit.
While destruction happens quickly, creation requires patience.
You can poison a tree in seconds, but you cannot grow one instantly. Yet this doesn't mean that when a seed is planted and nurtured, it isn't growing. It simply takes time to break through the surface.
The price of virtues. The Stoics understood that every desirable trait has a cost attached to it.
If you had to create a human and make them tough, what conditions would you put them through? Certainly not comfort and ease. If you wanted to cultivate patience, would you give them everything immediately? Of course not.
Each virtue we seek has a price tag. The question is whether we're willing to pay it.
We desire these traits, but each has a cost. It's about reframing the challenging periods of life as the price we're paying. Not with money, but with our time, with the precious seconds of our existence.
This perspective offers comfort in difficult times.
When I'm 80 years old, looking back on my life, I want to possess these virtues, and I recognize that to develop them, I must endure certain hardships. This understanding brings solace during life's trials.
Transformation through death and rebirth. The Stoics spoke of a continuous cycle of death and rebirth, not in the literal sense, but as a metaphor for personal growth.
You must allow your current self to die for your new self to have room to grow. This requires constant evaluation. Which of your skills and activities make you stronger? Which ones bring you closer to your goals?
This assessment becomes a guiding principle for both activities and relationships.
Ask yourself, does this person in my life make it more or less likely that I'll achieve my goals? Does this activity or behavior bring me closer to or further from my objectives? I continually ask these questions because I value my goals more than temporary comforts.
This might sound harsh, but it reflects a profound truth.
My goals will remain with me long after many relationships have faded. If you elevate your relationship with your goals to the same level as, or higher than, your relationship with others, you'll eventually lose one of these relationships. The question becomes, which one will serve you better in the long term? Reframing adversity.
A cornerstone of Stoicism is how we respond to difficulty.
Much of entrepreneurship and personal growth involves training yourself to respond differently to hardship. Initially, difficulty seems like a warning sign, telling us to slow down or stop. But there's another perspective.
The Stoic views obstacles not as warnings, but as opportunities.
When you understand the competitive landscape and recognize that rocks and dragons are simply part of the journey toward treasure, your perspective shifts. The harder the path becomes, the happier you can be, knowing that few others will follow. It's a selection effect.
This mental shift is transformative.
When you can transition from thinking, "This is hard," to "No one else will be able to do this," your frame changes completely. What once felt like a burden, "Poor me," becomes an advantage. Poor everyone else who will try and fail. This mindset is infinitely more motivating. The freedom of rock bottom.
There's a peculiar freedom that comes with hitting rock bottom, a concept the Stoics understood well.
I reached a point where every morning I hoped I wouldn't wake up. That's when I realized this was a significant problem, but also an opportunity. If you don't want to wake up, what have you got to lose?
This realization can be liberating.
When you have nothing going for you, reframe it. You have nothing to lose by taking action. This makes you a much more dangerous and potentially successful person. The paradox of success.
Studies of highly successful individuals reveal a fascinating paradox.
The three most common traits of hyper-successful people are: first, a superiority complex, believing they deserve more than others. Second, profound insecurity, feeling they will never be enough. And third, impulse control, the ability to stay focused despite distractions.
This creates a powerful psychological engine.
You have this combination of people driven by two forces: a desire to achieve something significant and the fear of never being enough. Add impulse control that keeps them focused, and you have the formula for extraordinary achievement. Aim high, have a motivating force behind you, and stay on the path. The hardest part is the beginning.
For those in the difficult early stages of any endeavor, Stoicism offers a hopeful message.
This is the hardest part. It won't get harder. The challenges you'll face may grow larger, but you'll become better equipped to handle them. You'll gain allies, supporters, resources, all the things you lack at the beginning.
The initial struggle is uniquely difficult.
In the beginning, it's just you with a stick against a bear. Later, it might be you against a dragon, but you'll have a nuclear bomb and 6 nations supporting you. The hardship isn't just about the size of the obstacle, but how few resources you have to overcome it.
The early phase demands a particular sacrifice.
So much of the beginning involves burning the one thing you have: time. You lack leverage. You don't have money to pay others to help. No one can learn skills for you or exercise for you. It feels painful because you look around for help and realize it's just me again.
Redefining work. The Stoics understood that perception shapes reality, especially regarding work.
Most people define work negatively, which is why they avoid it. This creates a misunderstanding between successful people and those who observe them. One person says work, and the other hears pain.
The first step towards success is understanding this language difference.
Successful people define work differently. For them, work is that thing you enjoy doing where you lose track of time, even when it's challenging. Usually, it is challenging, which is why it's not boring.
The key is finding meaning in the work itself.
People who appear addicted to work make it easy to be addicted because they do things worth doing. It's about ensuring that you use the precious seconds of your life doing the few things that are truly worth doing. The long game.
Stoicism emphasizes patience and a long-term perspective.
What's painful is that it takes more effort at the beginning, and people will be right when they say, you won't hit it big quickly. A month in, you won't have hit it big. 6 months in, the same. At 1 year, you still may not have achieved great success.
The critics seem right, but only temporarily.
Every day that you haven't made it, others will feel vindicated in their skepticism. But they're wrong because they're measuring in days while you're measuring in decades.
Confronting self-deception. The Stoics were brutally honest about self-deception.
You have excuses that only you need to believe, and you do believe them. These excuses release you from working harder on what you know you should be doing. But that work, the work you know you should be doing but aren't, is your opportunity.
This neglected work is precisely where advantage lies.
That's the work your competitors also aren't doing. From the bottom of my soul, it is astonishingly easy to outperform others today. They lack discipline, they can't focus. Everyone is distracted, checking notifications, unable to persist with anything meaningful. The lonely chapter.
Every successful person experiences what the Stoics might call the desert, a period of isolation.
Every single person who has accomplished something meaningful has gone through exactly what you're experiencing now. The lonely chapter. You no longer fit in with your old friends, but you haven't achieved enough to join a new group.
This phase is characterized by uncertainty and solitude.
You're consuming online content, following tutorials, trying to figure things out, wondering if it's all worth it because you see no signs of success. But if there's anything to take away from this, it's that the resistance you encounter is itself a sign you're on the right path.
The temptation to conform is powerful.
What you cannot do is surrender to external pressure and retreat to conformity because it's comfortable. As Trinity told Neo in The Matrix, you've been down that road and you know exactly where it leads. And I know that's not where you want to be.
The true nature of revenge.
The Stoics taught that the best response to detractors is not anger, but excellence.
The only thing you can do is win so decisively that those who doubted you will constantly compare themselves to you, and eventually you'll forget they exist.
This isn't about petty revenge.
Success isn't the best revenge. It's the only revenge. Everything else is petty and shows you're still preoccupied with these people, which means they win by default. All you can do is focus on your goals and achieving them.
True success renders criticism irrelevant.
When you succeed, you become so significant that your detractors shrink into irrelevance. You cast a shadow so large that no one can see them behind you. Self-reliance.
Perhaps the most profound Stoic lesson is the necessity of self-reliance.
People only root for those who don't need support. During my lonely journey, when I was too different from my old friends, but not successful enough to connect with those I admired, that's when I most needed support.
Yet support rarely comes when most needed.
Once you've already succeeded, people will praise you, precisely when you need it least. Therefore, you must always be your own first supporter.
This self-support often feels lonely.
It's usually a single clap in an empty auditorium for a very long time. A slow clap that's just you rooting for yourself.
The champion's mindset. What truly distinguishes champions isn't what they have, but what they lack.
Champions aren't special because they possess something others don't. Rather, they lack something everyone else has, an off button. They simply refuse to stop.
This persistence becomes a competitive advantage.
If we're optimizing for outcomes, the most determined person will win. The one with the greatest drive for achievement, the strongest aversion to failure, the unwillingness to quit. The Stoic narrative.
The final wisdom of Stoicism lies in how we frame our experiences.
Every hardship you encounter can be reframed as a story you'll someday tell about the person you became by overcoming obstacles and slaying dragons. This makes difficulties unique opportunities for growth.
This perspective transforms how we view adversity.
When something negative happens, some respond with good, seeing the opportunity within the challenge. My response is different. I will tell this story someday.
This framing creates an unshakable resilience.
This perspective serves you completely. If something good happens, wonderful. If something difficult occurs, it becomes a story you'll eventually tell. because this mindset assumes you'll survive and ultimately triumph.
In this way, the Stoic path becomes undefeatable.
With this framework, you cannot lose. Every experience, positive or negative, serves your growth and contributes to your journey of becoming.
The power of Stoic quiet strength lies not in avoiding life's challenges, but in meeting them with courage, patience, and perspective. It reminds us that it's never too late to transform our lives, that with each decision, we can change our direction and nurture the seed of a better future. The Stoic doesn't seek an easy life, but rather the strength to endure a difficult one with grace. By embracing hardship as the price of virtue, reframing obstacles as opportunities, and maintaining unwavering focus on meaningful goals, we cultivate a quiet strength that no external circumstance can diminish.
In our modern world of distraction and instant gratification, these ancient principles offer something precious: the power to remain steadfast, to persist when others quit, and to find meaning in the journey itself, not just its destination. The path of Stoic quiet strength may often be lonely, but it leads to a life of substance, one where challenges become stories of triumph, where difficulties forge character, and where each day brings us closer to the person we aspire to become. If this video helped you find some of that quiet strength within yourself, smash that like button and subscribe for more philosophical wisdom that actually makes a difference in your life. Share in the comments which Stoic principle resonated with you most. I read every comment and would love to know what you're taking away from this. Until next time, remember, the obstacles in your path aren't in your way. They are the way. Stay unbreakable, and I'll see you in the next video.